I just thought it was a fantastic part to play Lancelot. Is like he's such an epic character, and really what always draws me to any part is the script. I think obviously the character you want to be interested in him and find there's something you connect to. But I loved the script. It was so fast-paced. I just couldn't wait to get to the end. I read it very, very quickly. That's always a good sign. I think I always take it as a bad sign when you put something to the side and continue it later. So really the power of the script was what drew me to it.
My village was attacked by raiders from the northern plains. They were slaughtered where they stood. My father, my mother, everyone. I alone escaped. I vowed that day that never again would I be helpless in the face of tyranny. I made swordcraft my life. Every waking hour since that day, I devoted to the art of combat.
I knew of him as, being one of the knights of King Arthur's court, the Round Table and all that, but I didn't know that much. And it's interesting when you start investigating because there's so many different theories and so many different myths that come from different places. So it kind of gives you license to create the character from scratch, which is great.
Lancelot, fifth son of Lord Eldred of Northumbria.
Lance-a-lot.
We meet kind of a younger Lancelot who's not a knight yet, but who dreams of being a knight. He'd do anything to get there.
Sorry.
Sluggish reactions. On the battlefield, you'd be dead by now.
He realizes that there's only one way in, and he already by birth doesn't have what's needed. So it takes convincing by Merlin, but in the end they realize that probably the best thing to do is to kind of hide the truth a little bit. Yeah. Merlin's everyone's champion on this, I think. Yeah. Lancelot and Merlin meet where Merlin is being chased by a huge griffin. And suddenly we see someone save his life, and that someone is Lancelot. So it's great. He starts off as a hero already. And so that relationship, you can see there's a real loyalty there, and Merlin is extremely appreciative towards Lancelot.
You saved my life. Oh, Merlin.
Lancelot. And then things turn around where Merlin ends up helping Lancelot out himself. So there's a real friendship there of respect, and it's very immediate because the fact that the first meeting they have is, someone saving his life. So there's a huge kind of connection there between the two characters.
Lancelot,
Yes,
they're going to love you.
they are.
I've seen you in action. You could shame the great Arthur himself.
When Lancelot meets him, he's a young boy, really, or a young man, whichever way you want to look at it, and kind of very innocent and very eager, and someone, I think very much the characteristics that you would say when you meet Colin, in a way. I think it's perfect casting, because he has something very, very unique that draws you in, and there's kind of behind that what could seem as just like youthful, eager, naive energy. Behind it, there's something wise, and you see something different and something special in him. And I think Lancelot picks up on that. He knows that this isn't just any young man, that there's something else to him.
You face the most feared of all foes, the ultimate killing machine. You face me.
Arthur, yeah, another perfect casting for Arthur, Bradley. Bradley, yeah, he's brilliant. He kind of it's the kind of typical ideal of the very powerful father and the eldest son, who has extreme confidence and but has been brought up very well. So he's a great fighter. He's a great leader. So you see all of that in him, and I think it's really that kind of boisterous confidence that he has and exudes that makes him who he is. It's funny, Bradley kind of keeps it up all day, being very loud and very bullying Merlin around.
Colin, while I chew my biscuit, tell us about the scene.
It's great to see when you come to something like this and you just see the different people that have been chosen and how right it is, and then it just all makes sense. It all completely makes sense. Lancelot comes along, and he's someone who's trained himself and since childhood has been preparing for this big moment, so proves his worth very, very early on. The thing I love about the Lancelot character is if there is pride, it's all in the good sense. There's no, he's not stubborn at all. It's all goodwill. And deep inside, he's he's very calm. I see him like more of a Zen character. So whatever ways Arthur has of provoking him, it doesn't get to him. He knows what he wants. He wants to be a knight, so he'll do anything to get there. So cleaning the stables or going the long way around and kind of having to be humiliated for him is fine, because he has a very certain goal. So that's why I think Lancelot gets there in the end. Yeah, there's a snitch around in the episode, isn't there, that kind of finds out the true colours of Lancelot, and Uther doesn't take it very well. Of course, he's the king, and these are the laws that have been going on for generations.
You've broken the first code of Camelot. You've brought shame upon yourself and upon us. You're not worthy of the knighthood bestowed upon you. You never were.
There seems to be a big punishment on the way, but eventually, because of what Lancelot has already done for them, they decide to just, strip him of his colours and send him off. So it's it's one of the very strong moments within the episode where kind of there's a huge disappointment or humiliation.
Sire,
Do you contest my judgment?
his deception was inexcusable. But he meant no harm, sire, I'm sure of it. He only wished to serve.
The first code is a sacred bond of trust. It is what binds the knights together. How can you trust a man who's lied to you?
Arthur frees Lancelot from jail, helps me to get out, but with the idea of run away. You've done your part, but of course Lancelot decides to stay and fight the Griffin. And if it wasn't for Merlin's magic, then the Griffin wouldn't have been able to be destroyed. So it's kind of great teamwork there. In the end, they met, they had a connection, and I think finally that comes to, it resolves itself with them, working together to kill the Griffin finally. Yeah, I have done some riding before. It was on a job as well, so I learnt it in the same way. And these were beautiful horses, and they had the most amazing CVs as well. You ask about these horses, they've worked with everyone in every epic movie. And we didn't get to ride them that much. We have these great stunt doubles who do all the hard work, especially when you kind of got the big lance and you're wearing all the armor and everything. But there's one great shot, like the hero shot, rearing the horse up with the castle in the background and the moonlight and everything. It looks absolutely amazing. That was actually quite fun to stand back and watch yourself and going, oh, that's me. That's pretty cool. These kind of epic, mythical, historical characters, I just think, at least for me as an actor, it's the kind of stuff I'll always want to play, and I just think they're so much fun. It's when you really, you really get to play in a way. That's when you really get to feel that, you're pretending to be part of this world, and especially when it's a world of magic and a world of myth that's been going along, that's been around for so long, that's been in books and stories you've grown up watching and stuff. It's just, it's fascinating, yeah. We did a lot of training. The fights especially, we kind of got together quite a few times beforehand to prepare those. A lot of the fights were us. Me and Bradley have got a couple of really good fights between, Lancelot and Arthur, and we did all of those. You want to do your own stunts, but sometimes you see stuff that they do and you go, oh, right, I understand why they need them, Yeah. I think there is an indication of a bond in the sense that Arthur believes in Lancelot and forgives him for his petty crime of having lied about being a nobleman. So I think there is that mutual respect, and Lancelot admires Arthur for his skill. Lancelot has known himself to be the greatest fighter ever, but till he sees Arthur, he goes, I've never seen anyone like him. So there definitely is that mutual admiration, which I think could lead on to what the legend says about them being, a big force and being inseparable, and until a woman. It's always women, isn't it? Yeah. Pierrefonds is absolutely amazing. I mean, the castle, it looks like it was built for us, for the show. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It just, it's perfect. And beautiful town, and an absolutely, it was just wherever you put the camera, it just looked absolutely amazing. So it was great to be there. It really, it really brought everything to life. And yeah, the rooms as well. We got to shoot inside of the castle, not only outside, in some gorgeous, gorgeous rooms. And it was summertime, so we had to, at least when I was there, so had to kind of coordinate with the tourists that were around, but we worked it out. It was fine. This is very kind of you.
Gwen.
Gwen.
Short for Guinevere.
Ah, and thank you, Guinevere.
Oh, don't thank me. Thank Merlin. Merlin would do anything for anyone, wouldn't you, Merlin? Sorry, can you raise your arms? Thank you. Sorry. I think it's great that Merlin's got you this chance. We need men like you.
Do? There is that scene when they meet, and it's pretty obvious that there's a mutual attraction there. So, yeah, that could indicate a lot of things for the future, I think. You can't ignore that subject. Every time, you're playing Lancelot, everyone goes, who's Guinevere?
What is this?
We speak.
Wait! I'll hear him.
Forgive me, sire. I've come to bid you farewell.
What is this, Lancelot?
I lied to you both, and now there is conflict between you. I cannot bear that burden, as you should not bear mine. I must start again, far from here. And maybe one day fate shall grant me another chance to prove myself a worthy knight of Camelot.
But, Lancelot, you've already proved that to us.
But I must prove it to myself. Your Highness. Prince Arthur.
Till next time, then. Sir Lancelot.
There is a sign of Merlin's powers getting more and more powerful all the time, so I think there's great surprises to come.